right, we've got the Enduro12 here, about to bust the box off. Go ahead and do it, Trevor.
Right.
Just cut the seals on it. It's the first time. Yeah.
There it is. Sticker sheet.
Sticker sheet.
Controller. Bigger than I thought it was going to be. Much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Nice. Let's see that thing. Hold it up over here.
There it is.
Turn it sideways. There we go.
The stiff, but they're nice.
Yeah, it seemed pretty good.
No.
Do it. Pop that thing out.
There it is.
We've got the new Element Enduro12 on the table here. Show you guys what I got going on underneath and give you guys some of my input and thoughts on it. So we'll start out with the chassis. The chassis is actually a flat rail chassis. As you can see, there's no C-channel action going on throughout. Fairly simple, big kind of, I guess, notches that come up for the shock mounts that are actually part of the frame. And you know, I don't know what's going on with these kind of weird inner portions of the frame that are a separate piece. You know, it looks like some sort of potential mounting holes going on in here for something. You know, in all honesty, these look like an afterthought to me. They may or may not be. But I could see if these were not in place that there would be a lot more chassis flex. It's solid. It's, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, obviously there's going to be a little bit, but, you know, no complaints on that. One thing I would say about the chassis that's a little bit different than you're used to seeing is how this skid plate actually drops down below the rails. The transmission, it's kind of hard to get in there and show you the perfect angle, but it does kind of sit down like that. So, you know, interesting, different than what we're used to seeing on the 10 scales for sure. So notable there. The other thing I'd say too that I thought was kind of weird with this is no rear bumper. Noticed pretty quick going up some steep inclines that this thing was on the ground. It's obviously capable to go steep enough to where the body's going to rub. So that's something that we'll have to look into to see if any bumpers are available. So as far as the electronics on this thing, we've got the Reedy 380 motor in it. Smooth little motor, chill, got some good pep to it. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about that thing. So far, some pretty good performance. The receiver ESC combo in this thing, Fly Sky, I mean, can't really complain too much about that either. Looks like it's got quite a few channels for options on this thing. You know, sitting in the back, which I don't prefer, obviously. It's kind of same deal with the battery here. That I don't know why all these RTR guys want to put a battery in the back. I'm going to do something. It's going to be in here by the end of the day. So there's a couple thoughts on those. Hop into the shocks here. Shocks, I mean, I'm going to say are pretty good for what they are. Simple. Could probably use some more fluid in them. But they're efficient and get the job done. No leaks yet. We've ran it for a little bit out in the yard. You can see some dirt on the tires. Getting to the tires, that's been a real common question from a lot of people. And, you know, these things are, I mean, let's show this here. There's the factory tires on this side. I'm not doing a side by side, but there's 3.95s and 1.55s. So this, to me, if you look head on, is almost gonna be the tire choice for me when I'm shopping for tires. That is definitely it. You know, I'm gonna be getting some of these. You know, the aftermarket's a different story on where we talk with that, but I will say feedback on these tires here is that they're good. they're gripping and pulling. But the thing is with any RTR tire like this, just the plastic quality in this, rubber quality is just, it's firmer. I could see some potential breaking these things in to get more performance out of them. But they got up and down rocks pretty good, so I can't really complain too much or give them as bad a feedback as I normally would with 10 scale stuff. The servo is a smaller servo, definitely not your standard 10 scale size. So that will be interesting. It's not a micro servo and it's not a full size. It's definitely kind of somewhere right in between. And kind of on that note, can say the same thing about the pivot balls on this, which was another common question, is what we're getting into with these is a smaller actual ball. So our normal 10 scale rod ends are not going to work on this. I don't get into a whole lot of mini stuff, so I'm not going to be the authority on what size balls these are here for you, but they use my normal 2.5 millimeter driver to get these bolts out. Standard 2.5 on this whole thing, Allen, so that is nice. One of the kind of different things on this that I gotta show everyone here, that kind of something we're not used to seeing, is these hexes on this thing. I'm not gonna make any assumptions or anything here, but I don't know if these were in an original design to have a hex this big. That's a big old boy. But there's the hex on that thing. I mean, I guess you could do a brass version and make it significantly heavier, so that's cool. But this is kind of a different setup, I guess, for the hex. It'll allow for some different offsets potentially. So I guess that could be cool. Definitely easy to pull in the track with a smaller hex on this thing. So we got some options there. You know, overall, I'm pretty stoked on this thing. I'm gonna do some fine tuning on it, put some more oil in the shocks. Oh, on the shocks, I wanted to say too that something that I spotted that was cool. See chrome flakes flying. That was cool is that there are multiple upper mounting holes here. So this shock could very easily be leaned back. Same thing on the rear. Lean that sucker forward, get some more flex and articulation out of this thing very easily. On the lower shock mounts down here, you can actually see there's another hole in there to change that lower shock mount. Don't see much of a reason why. Same deal on the rear. You can, this one could make a little more sense, is moving this lower shock mount back and getting more shock angle. I mean, this thing could potentially flex really, like a lot, probably too much even. And this is, you know, let's do your standard tire size flex here. And I mean, with ease. So we're gonna take this thing out tonight, get it all scratched up, put it through its paces, see what it can do. Got some bigger lipos. I'm gonna modify the battery tray like I do on almost every Enduro. You know, don't confine me to walls. Cut this sucker off right here on both sides, make a battery that sticks out this far. Like I said, I'm probably going to drill a couple holes in this thing. Just move this guy up front. I'm going to have some potential contact issues with some of these with the motor wires here, but we'll see how it goes. We're not going to know till we get there. It might pop out too much. It might sneak in. Might just leave it, might just strap it to the two cross members. I've done that before too, or see what's going on up here. But either way, we're gonna take it out tonight, get some more footage, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you tuning in.